Hey, I'm Rosie, or at least that's what family calls me. I'm a bisexual atheist woman, which basically means I'm a death penalty walking. I've been arrested by morality police twice, and I've been treated like a criminal for how I dress. The first time I was 12, barely a teenager, and I was arrested for wearing red jeans. Yes, my crime was wearing a red jean, a pair of jeans. And that's what they wrote in my profile after they took several mugshots from me. The second time, I was at my peak of depression. I was 19 and I was depressed for being sexually assaulted by my cousin. But I couldn't tell anyone, because who would believe me? And no court would take my case because assaulting is not technically a crime in Iran. They tell you if you didn't want it to get assaulted, you would cover yourself. Or maybe you wanted to get in that position. That's only 1 minute of living in Iran and being oppressed. But that isn't all. When I was younger, I was in love with a girl. I loved her. I still love her dearly, and her family made us apart. They didn't know we were gay. They only thought we were friends and we were too close. And they made us break up as friends and, of course, as lovers. If the government knew that we were a couple and we were in love, they would execute us. That's why I always say, as a bisexual atheist, I'm a death penalty walking. And as an atheist, it's not okay. If you are Muslim born, you have to die as a Muslim in Iran. You can't just change your religion and denying Islam. That has death penalty. And I remember a few years ago, a Muslim man, not an atheist one, a Muslim, stated that living in a whale stomach for few days is not possible, and those stories from Quran are probably just folk or stories. And he was executed just for that. And he was a Muslim. He used to teach Quran to young kids and stuff, but he was executed. And other than what society restrained me for being myself and I can't dress how I want, there are problems with family. And my family are, thank God, one of the good ones. But still, if in Iran you're a girl and you have sex and your family understand that you are no longer a virgin, they might kill you. Or your father, if he has his beliefs that you might be ashamed to his reputation, he can kill you and he won't get punished for that, because basically your father owns you. A father owns his children, especially his daughters. And I can't stay out for nights. They say it's not safe, but I can't stay with my boyfriend. I can't drink and not being afraid of getting arrested or getting blind, because alcohol drinks in Iran are not the best quality and handmade mostly. So yeah, that's 5 minutes of oppression and living in Iran. I'm only hoping for freedom, liberty, and I like to add the most beautiful sentence ever: woman, life, freedom, زن، زندگی، آزادی.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to chapter 92 of The Last Thoughts of a Busy Mind. As I've mentioned in the last chapter, this season has a theme, and that is living under oppression, LUO. And because of that, at the beginning, you heard a message from another one of my friends, which talked about her experiences in Iran. This one I'm gonna title I think therefore I am executable, because strap in, this is not gonna be a light-hearted one. Um, of course, a play on I think therefore I am. I don't know why I said that. I mean, that's obvious. My drink today is lemonade, and let's get through it. I'm recording this at 1:15 a.m. I'm recording this as soon as I can on Friday, because there are murmurs that they might be shutting down the access to international internet completely in the next week. I don't know how credible these claims are, but it is not out of character for them. So it's just a good idea in general for everyone to assume that if I'm not making regular episodes, like weekly episodes, that I don't have access to internet. God. And if that happens, well, I mean, the last time it happened, they killed a bunch of people. So it's not good. It's not good. It's not really a fine situation to be in. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out. I probably will finish upload this before I go to sleep, just in case that they decide to do it tomorrow. Then you will have the episode. God. So, um, as my friend mentioned, I'm gonna, as she mentioned, there is like a big difference between life as a human male in Iran and human female, um, because it is much harder for women. Women have been the more oppressed in Iranian tradition, culture, and of course laws. Now, last time I talked about the fact that even though it's kind of may seem, as Amir said last week, inconsequential, totalitarian regimes put their hands in everything. Now I'm going to talk about the fact that, well, sometimes that includes your life. As she said, being an atheist in Iran means that they can legally, and again, this is important, legally execute you. Same is happening if you are a member of the LGBT family. If you, um, God, if you're a woman and you don't let your husband fuck you, they can execute you. They can legally apprehend and execute you. That is not a joke, that is real. And so, God. And so you can imagine just like, I'm sure everyone have read like 1984 and are familiar with the concept of thought crime. It's just you think of a crime, and that itself is a grounds for your arrest. That is exactly what being in a totalitarian regime feels like, and especially one like Iran, where you can literally be arrested for thinking bad things. You are an atheist. How are you supposed to prove that? It doesn't matter. They can kill you on that ground. Like literally, as I'm recording this, and this is important, a number of people have been apprehended throughout the movement that started in September after the murder of Mahsa Amini, and they have been so far tried in a basically a sham trial and have been ordered for execution. Now, it takes a little bit of time to get there, though the always present and great Iranian parliament, Majlis, has proposed that maybe we should, you know, we should do that more speedy. Maybe we should kill them sooner. Again, not a joke. So, the way they, okay, the list of crimes that they've manufactured for them range from causing social unrest. I don't know the exact translation from Persian to English, but it's literally causing social unrest. And in case of the journalists who have taken the picture of Mahsa and have reported on her basically doing their job, they have been accused of being agents of foreign powers and causing active unrest. In case of a IT specialist that had a video cast talking about different, IT problems in Iran, which there are a lot, including like internet and stuff like that. His crime is described as enlightenment. آگاهی‌سازی. Like, it's literally like, again, I think, therefore I am executable. Basically, living in Iran, and this is important because the goal of this theme this season is for you, if you are not in Iran, to understand what it is in Iran, and if you are thinking that you are unaffected by a lot of stuff that are currently happening, to realize how easy you are affected by everything. So there is a narrative in Iranian that the Iranian government sticks to, like a main narrative. In that narrative, Iran is a very free country. We have no restrictions, and every restriction that we do have in terms of restricted websites, job laws, morality police, all of that is in the public good. Like, it means that people are there, people are enforcing those restrictions because they fear about the morality of the populace, and without that we will have a very immoral society. Therefore we need to have it like this. That is the main narrative of the Iranian government, and it's one that every one of us in Iran know, like, from heart. It's been told to us over and over again from a very young age. I remember when I was in school, this narrative was enforced on us. Like, yeah, if we don't, and this is literally what happens. One of the teachers said that if we don't restrict internet, if the government doesn't restrict internet, all the young boys will be drawn to pornography, which will be bad for them all, which will lead to masturbation, and I don't know, hair goes out of their hand. The joke. Kentucky Fried Movie joke. I forgot the name of the movie. But everyone who lives in Iran, in any level, whether economic level or social class, knows that his narrative is, to some level, false. Arguably, and I'll argue for that, it's fully false. It's all bullshit. But for people on different levels, it's different degrees of bullshit. So when you do something that disrupts that narrative, basically in case of the IT specialist that I mentioned, saying that no, these restrictions are happening because of the profit of a few different entities in Iran, which actually he was right. Like, leaked documents show that several of the Iranian apps, including Cafe Bazaar, asked for the restrictions on Google Play because they didn't want the market share disrupted, and the government actually would have gone through with it. They're fair game for arrest, apprehension, and down the line execution. This past week, one of the things that happened is that one of the people who was executed because of the 2019 protests is a guy named Navid Afkari. Now, he was a wrestler. He basically, he fought, therefore he was executable. he basically went around the narrative and said, no, what you're saying is wrong, and people deserve more freedom. They arrested him and they executed him. And this was in 2019, by the way. This isn't the 80s execution craze. This is 2019. And this past week, they arrested his sister and her 3-year-old kid. Again, a 3-year-old kid. Like, okay, they've killed 2-year-olds also. They arrested a 3-year-old kid based on their own, and this is like their own official stuff. Like, the level of bullshit is high here, but based on their own admission, they've given her to an interrogator. Again, she's 3 years old. What sort of interrogation you're gonna do on a 3-year-old? What sort of I want to know the interrogation technique. So yeah, again, totalitarian regimes have their hands in everything you do. One of the things is what you think, who you are. Based on that, you might be dead. The fact that so many LGBT activists are in prison without any news from them, some of them have been executed, and same thing happening to environmentalists, same thing happening to to peaceful protesters, as well as people who actively want to change. Everyone in Iran is under the risk of death, except people who are so well connected that basically part of the root of the rotten tree, because the tree can't cut its own roots off. Otherwise, everyone in Iran is at the risk of execution, risk of arrest, risk of murder, like literally being killed in the street. Now, this is only on a governmental level. I'm not going to talk about the cultural level right now, mostly because I have like less than 3 minutes left in this episode. And to go to it culturally requires another episode, which I might get to. But on a governmental level, because, okay, here's the thing. Culturally, it is as horrifying as the governmental level. But if there was government protection, like if, for example, as my friend said at the beginning, a father killing his daughter was against the law, which again, it's not. It's not against the law. If it was against the law, the father might have thought twice before doing that. But it's not against the law. And the culture reinforces the fact that you, as the father of the family, have sovereign control over your family, including the female members of your family. That includes their wife, their daughters, even their mothers if their dad is dead. So imagine that cultural reinforcement, that toxic cultural reinforcement, and then you look at the governmental level and it's reinforced there too. So again, that's the whole idea behind this season. I want you to imagine what it is to live in Iran. Imagine if you're in America. I don't know why you would be listening to this, but if you're in America, imagine if school shootings were legal. I know you might say, "Oh, but with the gun laws, it is." No. If in the books it says, "Yeah, you know what? Let's have school shootings. People who do school shootings will face no repercussions." I want you to think of that. And then imagine that absurd idea is the reality of living in Iran. Again, I have less than a minute left. So that was the idea behind this. I think, therefore, I am executable. I am, as of yet, not yet dead. Hopefully, I can keep on that trend. That's my main goal in life. But there is a chance that I might be not be able to upload any more episodes because of the full shutdown. If a full shutdown does happen, don't forget to be our voice and ask for more international pressure on them to at least remove restrictions, because with removal restrictions, more information can be put out. If nothing happens, I will see you all next week.